Welcome to Mystically Me, a space for anyone who feels different or alone. You are home. These messages are here to connect you with your own intuition, your own inner guidance. Take what resonates and trust your inner wisdom. I hope everyone's doing well today. I just want to say thank you to anyone listening. Also, thank you to those of you who have subscribed. This is a new space, and I just thank you for being here and on the ground level as everything's getting built up. I really appreciate your support. For anyone new to this type of channel, just so you know, collective readings tap into a massive pool of energy. So if you choose to like or subscribe, it kind of creates an energetic anchor that allows me to connect better with your frequency and energy. So essentially, it's like permission from your soul to allow me to connect, and so the readings can be more specific for you and what you're going through. Anyway, glad you're here. And let's go ahead and dive kind of right in. Let's see here. I'm feeling called to start with the inner child deck. Big surprise. That one definitely has resonated with me for so long. And I feel like for so many of you watching also, just because, we all have that inner child in there complaining about something, sad about something, or just needing something. Okay, let's see what wants to come through for you all today. All right, well, one card just stuck right in my hand, Ace of Crystals. So, aces in any type of deck indicate new beginning of some sort, depending where they are. This card is a beautiful, of course, crystal, giant crystal, halfway buried in the earth. There is a cute little gnome digging it out, and coming out the top of the crystal is a rainbow. So what's coming through, I feel like there are those of you listening who have been in a process of unearthing like a crystal within yourself, like maybe the crystal of your true self, or just becoming more of who you really want to be, who you know you should be. And maybe let's get rid of that should. Don't should yourself too much. Just realize everything you've gone through and every place you're at, where you are right now, is where you're supposed to be. And it all happened for a reason. I know that is a really tough thing to accept when life has been giving you challenge after challenge. But at the end of the day, it's true. All right. As you know, I love things in threes, and 2 more cards hopped out in my hand. All right. So we've got the Guardian of Swords, which I know is one of the archangels, and the Eight of Swords, which is a group of kids with candles deep in a cave, with stalagmites and stalactites coming down. Let me just take a second here. Okay. What's beautiful about the card with our angel has beautiful red rose at the bottom, and stuck in that rose is a sword with a vine going around it. That immediately kind of makes me think of the sword in the stone story. Sorry, excuse me, as I fumble all over my words. So let's go. Yeah, that's who I thought it was. I was pretty sure that the archangel was Michael, but I just wanted to double check. It is morning where I live. So wanted to get up, and after my meditation, get into this reading because I was feeling some good things. Let's see. So if you are familiar with archangels or identify at all with angels or connect with angels, and it's okay if you don't, just remember guides, higher beings. You don't always have to go with angels if that word is something that triggers you. Okay, so I wanted to just read this card a little bit. Archangel Michael is known, I guess, as the captain of Christ's armies, if you connect with that at all. Anyway, Michael is the personification of spiritual might and willpower. So it's coming up with some negative thoughts. You might need to be protecting yourself from some negative thoughts right now. Also, I'm feeling very strongly to stop beating yourself up about prior negative thoughts, or even if you're having some right now, those are a part of life. And I brought this up in another video. One thing I like to do, if I'm really stuck in a negative place or really hurt or upset by something and sending negative thoughts or having negative thoughts about others, is if you can catch yourself in the moment, think to yourself or say out loud, cancel, 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 clear, clear, clear. Because, energy, our thoughts are things. I actually wrote some notes in this in my journal because I wanted to be sure to say this in a way that is correct. So with quantum physics, there's something called the observer effect. And what it means is the observer affects the outcome of the experiment. So in this analogy, you're like the observer of your life, and what thoughts you're putting out there or thinking or energies are affecting the outcome of what's happening in your life. In metaphysical thought, for metaphysical thought and thinking further suggests that with our intentions, those are our thoughts, our feelings, we create our own future. So if you are a younger viewer, I remember when I heard this when I was younger and I was like, what? No, this doesn't make any sense. But I just ask you not to dismiss it, just kind of let it sit there and don't attach too much feelings to it right now. It will all eventually make sense, probably for you much sooner than it did for me. Excuse me as I drink some water. As you know, you've been watching my videos. I love ice, so you're likely to hear ice in the background with my water. Now, for anyone out there who wants to tell me that drinking room temperature water is better for me, I have read it many times. Actually, my human design chart says that anything I put in my body should be pretty much hotter than my temperature, which not currently is that how I'm living, because I love cold drinks and like anything frozen. So yeah. So right now, just maybe you're coming out of a battle, or you've just been in a battle of negativity with yourself. Just remember, as much as we create our own realities, there is always kind of a bigger plan for us all. And you won't be able to rush things until they're supposed to happen in the time that they are. So just know that you have support. Everyone has angels, guides, whatever you connect with, ancestors, and they are always with you. You just have to talk to them, say something. And it doesn't have to be out loud. You can do this in your mind. All right, I want to get back to the Ace of Crystals, just because it's such a beautiful card. But like I was saying, I feel like you are coming through something right now where you really discovered something amazing about yourself, or maybe you already knew that about you, but you finally maybe let the world see that side of you. So congratulations for having the courage. Someone right now listening, I'm really getting just like in a round of applause from your angels and guides. They are just so proud of you for doing that thing, putting yourself out there. So whoever you are, just way to go. It is not easy, and you have already taken, it feels like a major leap towards something that you really want. Okay. This crystal is beautiful on this card. What this card brings, think about it. A beautiful quartz crystal coming out of the earth. Huge. And then an amazing rainbow coming out of it. You are coming into a time of hope and unity. Just remember, rainbows are kind of this bridge between the earth and the heavens, between the sky and the land. So rainbows, you have kind of bridged a part of yourself. And it looks like it probably happened. The thing with the Eight of Swords, I think caves are a beautiful place, but caves are dark, and they can be scary to people at sometimes. I've mentioned it before. There's this dark night of the soul they talk about where, you were really in a place where you don't think anything's going to get better. And that's often just the other side of a major breakthrough, where you're just like, whoa, okay, yeah, that was rough. And I did not know if I was going to survive that, but I did. And wow, look what has opened up for me. So we've got those. Let's see what the numbers. Well, with Guardian, that's in a traditional tarot deck, that would be like the king. And then we've got an ace and an 8. I love those eights. So Yep, you've definitely been like in a journey of the soul, and deep transformation has occurred. Uh, so, yeah, sometimes you have to go into the darker places of your psyche, your soul, your past, to figure out what's still causing the problems and affecting you now. So, good job. Keep up with it. Some other symbolism in this card. Um, is the snake, and there's also a spider. So the snake is in a figure eight, which is the symbol of infinity. Um, the snake can also sometimes represent the ancient Kundalini energy. If you have any experience with yoga or chakras, um, that is something you might want to, or if that those words I just said, Kundalini, chakras, your root chakra, the energy power you have stored there. Um, they're kind of like likened, your ancient Kundalini energy can be likened to like fiery dragons or snakes that are sleeping within the root chakra. Um, so you are coming through a trying time, in the middle of a trying time. So let me just, if you've recently come out of something, like I've been saying, congratulations. If you are still in this place, the Eight of Swords, where you still feel like you are in the dark and you have not seen the good or the light or what's coming from this, just know that what is waiting and what is there is beautiful. Um, I'm like looking, with the rainbow and this beautiful, beautiful sword. Not sword. Well, the sword in the rose. Sorry, I lost my music and I just was wondering why. So I was trying to get it to start again. There we go. I don't even know if you can hear it, but just trying to have something in the background and stop my videos from at the beginning somehow being scratchy when I come in to say hello. I'm working on fixing that. Thanks for those of you who have put up with it. Um, Not exactly sure what the problem is, but working through it. Anyway, so for someone who is really in a dark place right now or not feeling so good, just know that what is coming is beautiful with the crystal, the rainbow, the rose. And I mean, to me, the giant angel, you are so protected and you are so loved. And they might not be physical beings in your life right now, but they are there. So I just hope that, if you want to comment, if you feel like you just need more, please reach out to people in your life that you feel will help you. Or if you want, there's nothing wrong with seeking professional help at any time in your life when you feel you need it. Sometimes being able to talk with something about something with someone that has nothing to do with the situation at all can really bring some clarity. So I drink some more water. I'm sure that's very loud. Okay. So I feel like let's move on to some of our sacred geometry cards. I love having this deck back. I like the balance. I feel like the inner child cards bring kind of a feminine vibe, and then the sacred geometry cards, even though, of course, within sacred geometry, there are masculine and feminine um, symbols that overall, when I hear geometry, I'm all math, boys. No, which is silly. That's a lot of old programming. Um, but I do feel that the sacred geometry, because it brings structure to the world, and structure tends to be a more masculine thing, that these cards help bring the structural balance to these readings, these messages. Also, sacred geometry is just such a cool thing, and I wish it was just taught along in school with regular geometry. Like I've said before, it would have made math a lot more interesting to me, but I know many of you watching are pretty math brained and love certain types of math all on your own. All right, so let's see what messages are being held for us within these cards today. Okay. Just give me a second. I feel like I'm getting some downloads for someone. Someone's guides really wanted to come through. Um, what's coming through for someone? A group of you right now. What I'm feeling is a very grandfatherly type of vibe. Someone with a very expansive energy that I feel like could bear hug you from across the room, if that makes sense. Um, they just are saying right now that you seem okay. This is definitely someone's grandfather who has passed on to the other side. I'm getting goosebumps everywhere. Okay, what they would like you to know is I feel like this wasn't that long ago that you've lost them in this physical reality. Um, and they want you to know that they are with you. They know how difficult this has been for you. Um, they're saying, please find someone you can just hug and let go, release these emotions. It's hurting you to hold them inside. Um, and he's never going to leave you. He's never gone. He's always there. Um, just know that. I don't know who this is for. Something about a hat. Maybe there's a hat that you took from this person, or you always wanted, or that you're wearing now that was theirs. They say it looks great, not as good as it does on them, but keep wearing it, and they're so glad you have it. Okay, let's see if there's anything else. They know how much you loved them. It's okay you didn't get a chance to say something before they passed on. Just know that they know and they love you so much. And just that bear hug across the room, remember, they can bear hug you all the way from heaven. So, sometimes very specific messages come through. So I hope that reached whoever it was for, because I mean, I feel myself starting to tear up, but I can also feel this immense, like commanding presence of love this person holds for you. So just that love never leaves. I'm feeling it, and I'm not even sure who this is for, and it is powerful. Okay, let's get back into these. All right. I'm three cards are coming up. I'm always open if there's more messages though. Oh, yeah. Okay. Interesting. So one of the cards that came up is the triangle, which came up in our. I think it was the last reading was the first time I was able to use these cards. Sorry, I dropped one of them, just leaning over for it. So yeah, the triangle, like I said before, is, there's that saying, and I was trying to remember if I even said it correct, but the sum of the parts is greater than the whole. I think that's it. Something like that. So yes, we're adding one and one, but what is created is even more. So with the three, the triangle, it's Trinity. So that card signifies movement, um, completion. So as it's kind of coming up, and it's come up before, you're coming up to a completion of a cycle in your life, or you are at the edge of that completion. All right, yeah. So specifically, someone who is really on just the kind of like the edge, the precipice, the just beginning of something so new. It might be a job, it could be a relationship, a new way of being. I feel like this has kind of been a theme that it keeps coming up, but for someone out there, please listen. Like, you are doing everything right. Please trust yourself. You are doing a great job. One of the other cards is card. I apologize. I am not seeing so great this morning. It is card number 3, and I know that I am going to. I don't want to mispronounce it. It is a word that is Tzolkin. So I. What I know what this card means, it is the circle of time. So right now, I really want someone out there is either kind of obsessing over time. Like, there's not enough time. It's too late for me to do this. I really feel this. It's too late. It's too late. I've missed my time. It's huge for someone. And that is just thinking you need to let go. This, your current relationship with time is preventing you from stepping into or receiving this next level that's there for you. So, remember, sometimes I'll use my own life. I am I made a major life change in my mid 40s, leaving behind a 20-year teaching career because I was called to something more. I was called to this. And obviously, in the public school system, this was a side of myself that I did not share because it does not match or mesh with that environment. But I do feel like a big purpose of this channel and these videos is bringing this type of information to people who would never even consider listening to this in the past. Like, there's been a big shift, and for many of you, especially those of you drawn to this channel, you can't deny the spiritual side of yourself anymore. You can't deny that there's more than the life you've been living, than the existence you've been tolerating or accepting. So, I ask that you take some time, to examine your relationship with time. Just really take a day, observe what you say. How are you limiting yourself when it comes to the constraints of time that we have imagined, or even not literally like daily time, but like the time of life, like aging? Have you resigned to not going for your dreams because you think you're too old? Or maybe for some of you, you think you're too young and you can't do it. So wherever you're at, consider your relationship with time. All right. And then the last card that came up out of the three is card 64, which is a beautiful card. Actually, this is the last card of the deck, I believe. Let me just it is the last deck it's a 64 card deck. So this card is all about intentional balance. So the card is actually called Love and Balance, Love and Power. But what you need to find between love and power is that intentional balance. So at a certain point in your journey, as you connect more with yourself and, step into these higher identities of yourself, there really is a level of responsibility in acting in accordance with the divine wisdom that you have remembered. And as you step into the highest version of yourself, there's just certain things that are going to be left behind, and that's okay. It's acceptance. And one thing that's huge at this point, and we were talking about this earlier, is how your thoughts, there's such extreme power in your thoughts, your intentions, and your actions. So as you come into a space where you connect more deeply with yourself and realize just what a powerful being you are, and how magical you truly can be, there's a level of responsibility. Like, you don't get to learn all the magic if you're not going to use it in the correct ways. So that's not, not using your power without consent from anyone. It's sort of like why I brought up liking the videos or subscribing, because even though I do these readings as a collective reading, your soul still kind of needs to give consent. Sure, you'll be able to get messages that come through for the collective, but when it comes to like specific messages, or even something like energy work that is another part of my what I do, Reiki, you even to send energy distantly for someone, you need their consent. So if you don't feel that energy is powerful, or that your thoughts are powerful, your intentions are powerful, then, well, honestly, I don't even think you'd be listening to this, because this just wouldn't be the kind of content that you would be drawn to. But it is kind of a heavy responsibility to accept that, and just try to every day act from love. Excuse me, I need to drink some more water. Acting from love is not easy. It is like a conscious choice you make. And because we are human beings, there are times where we slip back down into, you know, just being human, getting caught up in anger and emotions and not processing through them or letting ourselves ruminate. Oh boy. Um, I am definitely a recovering from, boy, do I love to relive situations in my brain. Oh, if I just would have said this. Oh, I should have done that. Oh, if I would have done it this way. And just like relive, obsess, obsess. At the end of the day, that really has zero help for me. And it just kind of sets up a cycle, a pattern that I don't want to exist in anymore. So I'm going to step away from it. Before I put these cards away, I love handing them up. So we've got 64, which adds up to 10. 10 for the triangle, that gives us 20, and then 3, 23, 5. Okay. Let's see. Five's a structure type number. And then I'm like, ooh, structure. But no, structure, I've really realized in my own life that structure provides the form that allows the space for my intuitive, soft, feminine side to kind of take the lead, take the reins. All right. Gonna jump a little bit into the what's the vibe cards. Just because I feel like they do, sometimes they kind of just speak right to the heart with a word or a situation that helps us get a little more clarity in what's going on, see what wants to come through. Sometimes I tend to think these might be for my younger viewers. All right, so the first card that jumps up is masked. So, hiding, concealing, deception. Let's get a few more minutes for context. Let me feel into this a little bit. Okay. Oh. All right. So ended up pulling 4 cards, sorry, that I was guided to. So like I said before, we came with masked. And then if you heard me laugh a little bit, the next card that came up is salty, which is probably one of my favorite words. So bitterness, pettiness, angry. Then we've got consequences. Which below consequences, it says bad choices, games. And then the last card I pulled is Archangel Michael, which came up in the last reading. Or, not sorry, through that came through with our inner child deck earlier in this video. Let's see what I'm. So when I'm feeling for someone listening or a group of people listening, you are kind of masking some feelings you're having. You might have a pattern of masking your angry feelings. Or you might be trying to mask your bitterness about a situation. Or maybe you've been acting super petty and you're trying to mask those actions and behaviors because, like the next card, consequences. So we've been talking about how our thoughts and intentions create a reality. So, if you're always sending out negative thoughts, or there are chances there will be some consequences. I'm also feeling with someone listening that you have kind of been playing some games and some relationships, and I'm not judging this at all. I feel a lot, if you were in the United States, a lot of our TV and media, social media, there's a lot of people who think that you need to test people in relationships or play games or be sneaky to see if someone really cares about you, things like that. And really, at the end of the day, playing games, testing people, those aren't healthy ways to engage with others. This is, a time of building healthy relationships, which might look really different from the relationships you're in now. And I don't mean just love. This can be it can be romantic, but it can be friendships. It can be family. And, for the younger ones of you, it's not like you can just move out if you are 18 or older or have a job and stuff. But you do have the ability to try to limit or put up some energetic barriers around family members that don't treat you right. Obviously, if it is bigger than that, please reach out for help. But I'm just talking about like people who don't really, they just kind of dismiss your opinion. They don't value what you have to say. They kind of ignore you when any interactions, it's all about them. So anyway, so for those of you out there who this is for, stop playing games. If you really care about the person or people that you're playing games with, you're going to suffer the consequence of probably losing them. Just because at the end of the day, nobody really wants to be played with like that, have their emotions played with, especially in friendships and in love. It'll always kind of create a mistrust. And I don't know how healthy relationships move forward when, they're begun on a basis of game playing and tests. So, with Archangel Michael represents protection, divine intervention. So if you are kind of in a place right now where you feel like you are trapped in this vicious cycle of acting, petty, angry, bitter, or trying to hide all that, and it's just not working for you anymore, please call on the support that whatever you connect to. If it's not angels, your guides, your higher self, the universe. If you like the word God, use God, whatever you connect with. Grandfather, if you were someone that doesn't really feel connection to any of that, but you do feel connection to someone who has passed on the other side, call on them. And just like, please know and never forget that you are deeply protected. And all of us that had moments in our past, all of us have done things. I have been petty. I have been angry. I have been bitter. I've spent most of my life trying to hide those emotions because I grew up in a space where, I already wasn't liked. I was adopted. They didn't really, my adopted mother didn't like me. She was mean to me. I always hid my emotions that I considered negative emotions, or that I figured she would consider negative, because they never had a space that they were allowed to be shared. So I always tried to stuff that stuff. Which, guess what? Really didn't work out for me. And anything you stuff, you kind of have to deal with later. But one thing that I'm trying to get with this is forgive yourself, because we all are human. We all make choices. We all think we're doing the best thing in that moment, and we're not sometimes, and that's okay. But the first step to making the changes and being who you really want to be, and kind of releasing these habits that we pick up along the way, or these tendencies that we don't even realize are toxic or not us, you can release them. And if you're hiding some pretty intense emotions, please find someone safe. Or before I was able to find people to talk to, and I know if I'm talking to any past students, telling you to write might drive you crazy, but I journal. I've journaled for over 20 years. You don't have to, for those of you that, are tech savvy, you might type up a journal. You might have a journal in the computer. There's a lot to be said for actual writing out emotions, and we'll get into that in another video. Writing anything, actually. But at this point, it's just like, you can't keep stuffing them. Find a way to get them out. Listen to music, scream into a pillow. Just find a way. Some people, those athletes out there, go for a run. Just sort of set an intention when you're doing any of those physical things that energetically you want to release emotions you've held inside. I know that sweating is a good way to release built up heart energy, like things you've stuffed around your heart. So yeah, please just realize you can always make a new choice. You can always step into the higher version of yourself. You aren't stuck in any identity that you currently are existing in. And then once you realize that you can make the choice, forgive the self, the you that made those choices, because in the moment you were doing what you needed to do to, to survive, to get by, and that's okay. Okay, I want to pull one of these beautiful cards. I'm in no way affiliated with this deck, but if you want a beautiful deck, it's called Ascendium. And it's a vibration shifting affirmation oracle. And these, I've gotten another deck from this person just because they are such an incredible. The artwork is beautiful, and I love that each card gives you an affirmation. A simple sentence that when I like to, so with my affirmations, I like to write them 3 times. I like to speak them aloud 3 times. I also do something where I speak them into my water and then drink the water 3 times. I figure our bodies are 80% water. So why not, help those affirmations take a little bit more hold. So let's just see what a good way to close this reading is. That was sort of my intention when I started these readings. It was to close, but I've just sort of been going with what I'm guided to. Oh, and this card will not leave my hand. All right. So the word for this card is vitality, and then the affirmation. And I really suggest, if you would like to help anchor this affirmation more for you in this moment, go ahead and type it in the chat, write it in your journal, speak it aloud. So I am the embodiment of strength and vitality, radiating physical power and vibrant life force. I'll read it again. I am the embodiment of strength and vitality, radiating physical power and vibrant life force. Because I've done it twice, I'm going to do it a third time. I'm the embodiment of physical strength and vitality, radiating physical power and vibrant life force. So, if that affirmation resonated with you, like I said before, please type it in the comments, say it aloud, say it as many times as you want. If you just want to do one and done, go right ahead. It's whatever resonates with you. Thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate all your support as we get this off the ground. And like I've said before, I hope to create a community for all of us like-minded souls who've honestly never felt like there was really a space for us to connect and create our community here. So have a great day.